the desperate race to the bottom under the promise of deep sea mining, with scientists still unclear of what lives in that ecosystem or that ecological community that would be affected. What is resounding is that such move will rearrange the structure of ocean life with consequences and far-reaching impacts in addition to climate change impacts. Many from the Pacific and around the world are arguing that while the move could be beneficial, but in particular to some rich countries and sponsored corporations, it would be detrimental not only to the ocean, but in particular to communities in the Pacific who depend wholly on the ocean for their food security and livelihoods. So amid the calls by religious leaders, ocean activists, they name them, for precautionary pause on the fledgling activity, that it needs more research conducted into this very little known space, with warning of the potential biodiversity loss and irreversible harm to the deep sea environment, and with risks and liabilities to be pushed on to small island nations. It seems that deep sea mining is likely to happen whether the other members of the Pacific household gives consent or not. Now, deep sea mining goes against everything that the Pacific stands for, expressed in its whole of life, indigenous knowledge systems, philosophies of life, and ecological spiritualities. But I think the irony here is that an ideology is developed, just like any other colonial project, that in order to solve the climate crisis, we need to move to clean renewable energy, renewable economy, to solve the climate crisis. So the issue here is that in order to facilitate that move, minerals from the seabed are needed to achieve this. So for example, the polymetallic minerals from the seabed of the Pacific are critical in producing millions of batteries for electrical cars to solve the emission crisis. So the questions that I have are, what are the environmental risks of deep sea mining? Are the environmental risks of deep sea mining worth the environmental benefits of solving the climate crisis? Who really benefits from deep sea mining? Isn't this renewed solution to the climate crisis still revolves around improving our economies? And whose economy? So I don't have the answers. I need to rate the question, but I don't have the answers to these questions. But it seems like we are back to square one, where small island states and indigenous communities are continually victimized, not only by climate change, but also made vulnerable by this very narrative that seems to suggest that solution to the climate crisis is another crisis, the ecological crisis. So it seems we are growing in circles, creating crisis after crisis, conflict after conflict, insecurity after insecurity. And it seems we already know who the victims will be.
Mm-hmm.